All right, so picking back up, right? So what we're now gonna do is to properly position these guys, right? So I'm definitely going to have a lot of stuff inside here. So let's do a div tag and have that ready. So for year, I'm going to give it a class name and of course just put a flex of one. And let's see how this guy is going to behave now. So if I do that, okay, good. So I have this here, and I think I should do a BG of green, and this is 500. So save this and refresh, and voila, we have this. Of course, right here we're just going to say items to be center, right? So let's refresh so that this guy is well aligned. All right, so looking at these now, it seems okay. One last thing which I would just want to do is just to call um, um, cursor pointer here, right? So that by the time we put our mouse here, we can see that pointer effect. Is there any other thing I need here? So maybe um, edit, right? So I'll just put edit here so that I can edit the title. Or okay, one more thing which I would want to put here, which is for me to just sort of like state the priority, right? And for that we'll just do this. Of course I would want to remove practically everything we have here, and this is just going to be, let's say, priority, right? So that one can see the priority here. And let's look at this, right? So this is going to be let's say flex, and let me give it a gap of maybe 4 to save that, refresh here. So we have this, right? And since I have flex there, so I would want to do this center again. So refresh that, right? So we'll have something like this. So that's good, right? All right. For this guy, let the text be XM, and let's have it as font to be semi bold as well. All right, so that's good. So we have this. Awesome, right? Awesome. Okay, so like I said, there should be maybe edit at this extreme here. So let me come here, cut this guy so that I can have it as a div and have here, and duplicate here. So this now is going to be edit, and of course I'm going to remove this to use cursor. So cursor to be pointer. To save that, refresh here, would have this, but this is not where we want it to be, and that's the reason why we had this. So class name, we say flex, and we'll just say justify to be between. And lastly, I'm just going to say items to be center. To save that, we refresh here, and voila, we get this. I think this guy is still too big, right? So rather than me using this, I am going to do maybe 10 px, right? So save that, refresh, and voila, we get that. Then one thing I would want to do is to call the opacity, and let's do opacity of about, let's say, 70. But when you hover, then the opacity should now be 100, right? So let's see, refresh here. So it is faded, but when we hover, we get that full view. All right, so that's good, right? Okay, so now that we're done with the UI design, so the next thing we want to do is, if here is clicked upon, right, we should have the modal. So let me just close this so that we can come down here to design the modal. So let's do this now. So I'm going to have two cards. So this card here, so let's give it a fix, right? So fix, and give it a background color of black, right? Then maybe opacity opacity of about, let's try 50, no, let's try 17, right? And so if I should save and we refresh, because we didn't type, let me type something here so that we can see what has happened, so we can see it down here. So in here, I'm just going to do insert to be 0 so that it fill up the screen. So if I save, we'll see this. Now this stuff here would want it to be at the middle. So first of all, let me come here and do width to be like, let's say, let's try, let's just try full. No, no, not the full. So let's try let me just try 600 px, and the height to be maybe around 300 px. At least let's just do a mean height. Then let me do a py to be maybe 10. That's too much, so let's try 4. Then a px to be 8, right? bg to be white, and of course we'd have our text to be blue, which is 950 as usual. So let's save this, and if I should refresh here, we see this, right? So we want this to be at the middle, right? So I'm going to come here to the first effect to say flex, to justify to be center, then items to be center. So save that. If I should refresh, we'll see it at the center. But then if you look at it, this guy looks like the opacity is affecting it. So I'm just going to do bg and save that, right? So that the opacity should only be at the background, right? Yeah, so this is it, right? And let me do um margin x of let's try 2, right? So save that. Let's refresh. Ooh, no, so that should be p, right? So save that, refresh, and we have this. So I would want a curve, right? So let's do rounded to be md. So save that. In fact, I think I should use large or excel. So save that. So if I should refresh, we'll get something like this. So this look not bad, right? All right, so I'm going to put input to be like let's say um tax, right? Or title of the tax, priority, then detail, then of course submit. So let's quickly do that now. So I'm going to do a div tag, then p would be tax title. So let me just come here and do text to be excel, right? So tax title, then input to be so let's use so placeholder. So this will be tax title. Okay, what else can I do again? So let me just quickly do this. So text name, so let's do mb to be like 2, font to be bold. Yeah, so let me refresh and let's see how that looks like. Okay, so that's not bad. So class name, so let's do border, and we're going to say border to be gray, going to be gray of 400. Then what else we can do there? Okay, then let's refresh and let's see. Save and refresh. So we have that, right? So let's do width of full. So I'm going to say rounded to be md, py to be 1, right, and px to be 2. So let's see how that looks like. Okay, not too bad. So let this be 1, right? Then I think if I try 2, let's try 2 and let's see how that looks like. Okay, not bad, right? So this is good. Okay, so lastly, so I'll just do ID, and I'd want the ID to say tax inputs, right? So something like that, right? So save that. Now let's duplicate this. Now for this one, I think I should just do this again. So for this, this is going to be text area, right? So let's say text area. I'm going to say um, I'm going to say resize to be none, and the height we're going to give it, let's say 200, or let's do 100 px, right? So this is tax detail, and of course we're going to say um, detail inputs, right? So let's save that and let's see how that looks like. Oh, so why am I getting this inside here? Right? That would be looked into. Anyways. Okay, so let's see. Why do I shouldn't have that, right? But let's see why. This is class name. Okay, so let's see. Let's refresh. Why am I getting all of these inside? Anyways, right, so let's just continue. So this is going to be um tax detail, and so let's do MC of maybe 4. Let me see, copy here. Okay, so refresh. Yeah, so it gives me space there. Okay, so for this guy here, I'm going to remove what we have here. So this is going to be select, right? And inside the select, I'm going to have option, right? Option rather. So this is going to be, let's say, urgent. This will be high, and this will be low. So save that. Now for this, let me cut here off, remove here, so that um I can paste it here. Then why for this, I would just create another div and paste it here. So the reason for that is because I would want here to be a flex, right? So let's do items to be center. To save that, refresh, right? So we'll have this. So let's style this guy. So I'm going to do this. So we'll just say let's take border. So let's do rounded to be like MD. Save that. So if I should save this, we'll get this, right? So let me, so for year, so let's have the width to be full, so that I can come here and do class name and do flex to be 1, right? So it occupies all the available space, right? Yeah, so that's it. So for year, I'm going to say ML to be maybe 1. Then let's do PX to be, let me just do P to be 1 as well. And if we save that, we refresh, yeah, so we get all of this, right? So let me push this guy down just a little. So I'm going to say let me try 1. If I should refresh, oh, it's going up. So let's remove this and do maybe 2. Save that. If I should refresh, or about 3. Let's see, refresh. Okay, so not bad, right? So let's do a height of, let me try 3. Save that. Let's see. Let's try it. So we looked at let's try 12, and so 12 is too much. So 10. Okay, so we look there. Let's try 9. So we look at that, and okay, not bad. So this height here, I can try 5. So let's refresh. Okay, so perfect, right? So if I should click here, we can change the value. Amazing, isn't it? In it, in it. Okay, so so now we have all of these, right? So in our next, let's see, why why am I getting that? Okay, so this looks better now. So now that we've done this, I think the last thing we need to do is just to have button to submit, right? So just down here, so let's do button. So I'm going to say hard tax, right? So save that. So this is going to take in let's do VG to be blue, and that would be our 950. Text to be white, um border, right? So have now border, let's do gray. There might not be need for this so let's say gray 400. Oops, 400. What else again? So let's say px to be um px to be let's just do flex. So would have width to be full, then would say MC to be 4, then I can just do my justify to be center, align items to be center. So let's save and let's see how that looks like. All right, so we have this. So I'm going to now say py to be maybe 4, then rounded to be md. So let's see. How does this look? So let's try 3, right? So save that, and we have this. So this is okay, right? So we've been able to make these, right? So that's good. So right about now, this same thing we did, right? I'm just going to copy the same code, right, to put for the edit. But for the edit, we'll be working with just title alone, right? So that it will be fast. Just know it's the same principle, right? So let's quickly do that, right? So this is it, right? So this would be for the edit. So I'm just going to bring it down here. So let us for this, let us hide it. So let's do hidden, right? So if we save that, refresh, what we're saying now would be for the edit, right? So let me just close here so that we can focus on it. So we don't need this, so remove this, as well as we don't need this, remove this. So we'll just say um update 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 tax, right? So if I should refresh that, we'll have this. So let me go to the height, right? So this height, I am going to change it to be maybe 100. So let's refresh that. Okay, good. So we have this, right? So if you click this, you have that. So now let's implement that feature, right? So again, I'm going to come here and say this would be hidden, right? So if I should refresh this, we won't see any of those. So now let's make it that when we click this, we see that other one. When we click this, we see the other one. So let's do that now. So for let's start with the hard tags, right? So for this, I'm going to pass an ID, and this ID is going to be, let's say, tax model, right? So that's what it's going to be. So let's close this and let's come down. In fact, let's put it out here. So I'm going to do a script, right? And inside this script, we're going to say, so let's say const update tax model, right? And that's going to take in document dot get element by ID and will pass the model, right? So this one is for the model. So this same thing, let's do it for the um, tax title, right? So let's say tax title, and of course I would want to pass another that would say tax title. So let me just copy this so that I can have it as ID and pass the tax title. All right, so that's good. So now that we have this, right? So what I'm now going to do is to create a function. So one function that say open model, right? Open, let's say tax model, right? So something like that. Then this thing here, I am now going to place it inside here, that function. So that will be on click, right? So let it be this, right? Makes sense. So inside here, the first thing first, like I would always say, is for you to investigate that when you click, that function is working. So I'll just say open modal to save that. Now let's refresh here. Remember, this is our um, console log. So if I click here, we can see open modal. So this guy is working fine. So that's good. So now the next thing we need to do is to now use this guy, right? Use it to now target um, we can now use it to target this because of course there is a class element, right, which is all of these, you guys it again, so all of these css that are here, right? So we can target the css. This is it here, right? So these css that are here, and remember this is where we're focusing on. Want to change this value here, so we can now come here and say the class list, right, dot want to add, right? What do we want to add? We want to add flex. And because we're doing this, of course would want to remove hidden. Remember that there's hidden there, right? So would remove that hidden. Now this same thing we're going to do for the close. So I'm just going to come here and say close to save that, right? Now this close, let's implement it. So I'm not sure we had close, so let's just refresh here. So if we hit here, we see this, right? So up here, just up here, we're going to implement that close. So let me come here and do a div tag. So in here, I'm going to call a button. So I'm going to say close, right? So save that, and right here, so I'm going to say class. So this is going to be flex width of full, justify, that's going to be end, right? And SO MB of maybe 2. So just in here, so I can call on click and pass in this close function. So let me refresh this, right? So if I hit here, you see this. So let's fix this. So this shouldn't be here. Let's take it down. Right, let's see. Okay, so let me see. Close here. So cut here away and bring it down here. Let's see. So refresh here. So if we bring this, we see these are closed. If I click here, I'm not seeing it closed. Yeah, so that's because we've not fixed here. So this will be hidden, and we want to remove the flex that we put in. All right, so before I close out on this, yeah, I am just going to say the text should be X, and let the font be bold, right? Very important, right? So let's refresh here again. So now if we hit here and we hit here, you can see that goes out. So this same thing we implemented, let's do it here. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. So this same thing we implemented, we're going to do it here. So what I'm now going to do is just to quickly duplicate here, right? So let me um it's a function I meant, so we're just quickly duplicating that. So this guy, so would come here and just paste it. So remember that this would be title and here would be title. So I'm going to copy this and locate my edit, right? And my edit is somewhere here, right? So let's find the edit. So this is the edit, right? So we're now going to come down here and do on click and paste that there. Oops, on click, paste it. So let me just copy here or cut here. So remove this, paste it. So this will be for the on click, and um that even reminds me, right? So we did not pass this here. So let me save here and let's see. So if I hit here, we did not put the close. So what I'm going to quickly do is to come here in this are tied to here. So let me just cut here and do a div, paste this here, come here and let's call um close. So save that. I'm going to remove this, and rather than having this here, cut it out. Let's have it here. So save that. Now here we can just come and copy this close, and that would be here, I suppose, right? So we're going to do the on click, paste, and save this. Yeah. Okay, so one more thing. So this should take flex. Justify should be between. Yeah, so save that. Let's refresh now. Let's hit here. We see close. If I hit that, it closes. So one more thing which I would want to call here is to say cursor to be pointer, right? So save that. Yeah, so save that. Then text should be SS, right? And font should be bold. Yeah, so this is where we're going to end this on now, but then let's just verify that everything works fine. So we hit here, we can close, we hit here, and we can close. Awesome.